So here we go. Trisha, Gargi, and I. We can say that all our respective emotions can be summed up in one word: gutted. And it's all about India's approach, India's game sense, India, the way India went about it. It's a mountain to climb. Let me take first comments. Trisha, you first.
I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what to say. It was the captaincy was so weird, and that's the only word that's coming to my mind. It was so weird. It seemed like we had a plan, and as usual, Sneha and I have been talking about this all our shows that we always come with plan A, but the moment the plan A goes for a toss, we have no other plan to fall back on. The field settings have not changed. I'll give you one example, which, by the way, I spoke to a lot of former cricketers here and still did not understand. Deepti Sharma, who's bowling off spin, said he come inside, right, to Perry. There is no short fine leg, there is no fine leg, there is a deep square leg. Which shot
That's
is
what
that
and she's
for?
pitching. And she's pitching there. What tickle
Yes,
here and going for a
yes. And what was the fielding? What was the overthrow? There was no backup captain, vice captain looking at each other and the ball goes. I will tell you something. I know a lot of people were like, why did Radha throw? Radha still had a chance. If it had hit the stumps, it would go at least do anything. But what was Smriti and Harmanpreet doing? They were literally both other looking at each other, suddenly looked at the ball and the ball went back. That is not the standard you want to set in a semi-final. I am not saying, look, Australia was always 70% favorite. We had said this. So there is no problem in losing. It is again about how you lose. It is not about losing or winning only.
Gargi, my
As
question
of
for
now,
you: when I see the game, and it's not lost till it's lost, as Trisha said at
yeah,
the end. I mean, it's not lost till it's lost. We are not saying that. What we are
yeah,
saying is, if you see Harmanpreet Kaur today, Renuka Thakur 8 overs for 39, 4.9. Radha Yadav bowls over number 49. Deepti Sharma bowls over number 50. She has conceded
50.
7 for 8 overs. Renuka Singh Thakur 39 of 8. Captain drops a sitter, the Alyssa Healy one. Misfields. Is it pressure? Is it what? Come what may, even if India wins this game, the one change that has to happen in Indian cricket tonight is Harmanpreet Kaur has to go as captain. This is not working. I mean, whatever we say, we are being polite, gracious. We don't want to cross the line. But from what we have seen this tournament, Gargi, and I'm sorry, if India does lose today, it's a home World Cup, tremendous support, all the facilities. You have lost to South Africa, lost twice to Australia if you lose today, lost to England. The one match that you have won is New
New
Zealand.
Zealand.
That too against a relatively under whatever New Zealand team, which is now on the wane. So this is your World Cup. Is this what
That
we are
to the New
standing
Zealand
on?
team is the one which is in transition.
That's
Exactly.
exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Sophie Devine retiring, things are going. Is this what we bargained for? Harmanpreet Kaur's captaincy. The more I think, you watch every ball. I wrote to Trisha saying I don't want to do the pre-show because I don't want to say things I will regret. She said, no, you must come. I honestly don't know what to say, Gargi, but captaincy. Captaincy is what I want to ask you.
Look, even in the pre-show, I said that it is time for Harmanpreet Kaur to step up. I said that it is her who has to lead from the front today because the team will be in pressure. There is no doubt about it. You talked about fielding, you talked about the body language on the field, and you asked the question, is this about pressure? I would have said yes if this was a one off for the Indian team. Unfortunately, it's not. It happens time and time again that basics of cricket are not followed through. What is the problem going on in that dugout? What is happening in those practice sessions? What is the conversation uh, outside of the field that this is happening, or this is the execution that we're seeing on the field at this moment? Harmanpreet Kaur did not look like she wanted to win. She did not look like a winning captain tonight. There is a difference between her players not doing right, and there is a difference between her putting her body, mind, soul, everything out on that field. Unfortunately, I did not see that today. Her dropping that catch was a statement as to where she stands right now as captain. We've not seen any accountability throughout this tournament from Harmanpreet Kaur. She's not come out for any of the press conferences. This is not a bilateral series where she's waiting for the final match to come, for the final match to happen, and then she will come out. We need her to come and talk to us as to what is going on. What is with the bowling changes? I did not see one proactive bowling change in the entire 50 overs that we've seen. When Deepti Sharma was bowling those lines, let's not even talk about the field setting. You know, Deepti Sharma was not on song, she was not on money. Why not get Renuka in? What was going on? You know, Beth Mooney plays field so well.
Radha Yadav, 8 overs for 66. Ash Gardner, who knows how to wield the big handle, playing those two sixes, and Radha Yadav bowls that 49. Thank goodness Ash Gardner was stranded in the middle of the pitch. Otherwise, this was a 350 plus score. Trisha, forget everything. You had control when those two wickets fell. Talia Magra comes in. First ball, second ball, you misfield, you concede a four. Then
Oh
you
my
concede
God,
a
yes.
four. Come on, boss. Two new batters. That's when you exert pressure. That is when your captain needs to step up and lead from the front. That's when she does this. Take the question, Boryada. If this feels harsh, then so be it. Harman should not lead India after this World Cup, whether we win or lose. Poor fielding. Why no Renuka? Jamie look like energy. Trisha, take that from Ayush Jindal. Spot on question.
Yeah, Ayush, and of course, Guardian, Boria, that, you know what is the worst part? I'll start from the big partnership between Perry and Litchfield. There was a point in time, and it is so frustrating to say this, that when they were absolutely on song, Harmanpreet Kaur was in the covers, just standing there. She was not saying a word. It was Smriti Mandana who was setting the field. It was Smriti Mandana who was talking to the bowlers. It is ridiculous that I think there are only two bowlers, Chudney and Kranti, to whom at least Harman goes and speaks. Rest of the bowlers, it's all manned by either Deepti or Smriti. Deepti on field is more proactive than Harmanpreet Kaur, who, by the way, is apparently our captain. And the misfield, and in fact, after the misfield, Smriti went and asked her, is there a problem? Should I stand there? She just waved her away. And when Deepti did, should not have thrown that ball which went to the boundary in the beginning. I completely agree with that. But you are a captain, you have to behave yourself, because on the ground, that is all Harman does. If I ask you what is Harman's whole, existence in the cricket world? 171 and throwing bat, throwing helmet, breaking wickets in Bangladesh. That is it. But that is not the captain we want. Renuka, again, you remember the last game also against England. She got in Chennai when Renuka had overs left. Today, the same thing. How are you not learning? And why Harman alone? What is Amol Mazumdar doing as a coach? He's a silent observer. It is so weird. We see every single coaching staff, every single team. Snehashish and I have been following the World Cup now for 40 days almost. Every team's coach, Shelly Nishke, be it the South African coach, all of them are active. It is our coach who stands far away and watches. Just watches. That's it. Just observing, not a single feedback, no, not talking to youngsters. Shafali came, not a word with Shafali. This management in the sense Amol and Herman both need to go. And I don't think Herman needs to step down. I think Herman needs to just go.
Gargi, this question, I mean, if the captain's not reading it, clearly she's not reading it, right? Renuka Thakur not being bold. You're sitting in the dugout. You're showing Avishkar Salvi and Amol Mazumdar when that overthrow happened. They're in shock. Come on, boss, instructions need to be sent. Because she kept bowling Radha. It's not one over. She kept bowling Radha 47, 49, Deepti 48, 50. So that's her plan. She's getting it wrong. Why is there no instruction? There has to be an instruction. Come on, Renuka Thakur has two left. And who's batting? Alana King. She gets out. Who's come out? The number 10 and number 11, for God's sake. It's not the top order. Get them out there. Get Renuka Thakur to come and clean it up. Australia 330 all out. We scored 330. Give every run matters. Why are you conceding those two sixes to Ash Gardner? First ball, boom, gone, mid wicket, six. Second ball again, she takes it on the bounce, full toss gone. You know that she will take Radha Yadav on, the spinner on. It's the 49th over. No instructions from Amol Mazumdar, Gargi.
It didn't look like it. I did not see Muzumdar being involved in the game at all. Maybe he's sending out messages. Who knows? Who knows what's going on? But from the outside, it does not look like Amol Muzumdar is actively or proactively involved in the decision making that is happening on the field. We're not even going into the technicals. We're saying why was Renuka Thakur not bowled? We're saying why is the fielding still a problem over and over again? What is Amol Muzumdar, and I'm going to be a little technical here, but what is Amol Muzumdar doing when he knows that his fielders are having a basic problem of judging the ball? They are not able to judge the outfield, how slow it is, how fast it is, and they are not able to get to the ball in the right time. That is the problem that is happening with this Indian team. That's the problem that you need to point out and fix as the coach. It is not as if these players have made it to the Indian team by being terrible fielders. I refuse to believe that. The standards are much better in state cricket, in domestic cricket. I have seen it happen in front of my own eyes. I refuse to believe that they are all bad fielders. The problem here is they are playing in a high pressure situation. They are playing in different venues, different stadiums. But this is something that is very, very basic, is that your fielders are not able to judge the outfield and they are not able to get to the ball. So where is the coach's input coming in? Where is the coach's involvement coming in? We're not seeing that happen on the field. We've not seen Amol Muzumdar uh, there's no improvement in fielding since the past 2 years that he's been here. So what's really going on?
On the issue of fielding, Trisha, that Kranti got overrunning that ball and Jemima Rodriguez somehow managing to save it. I mean, what was it? Was she going for the catch? She wasn't. The catch was 10 feet in front. She overruns
Yeah.
the ball and had literally given up. Somehow, Jemima Rodriguez comes from behind and saves those two. If you look at India's fielding, in all honesty, India has conceded 30 plus runs on the field. We keep talking about Richa Ghosh. Richa Ghosh as wicketkeeper. Play her as a batter, by all means. Play Richa Ghosh as a batter. But as a wicketkeeper, every single game, Richa Ghosh's wicket keeping goes from bad to worse. She can't get up on time, catches drop, movement. Richa Ghosh as a wicket keeper, I'm sorry, but how does she even make an international side, Richa Ghosh? Because as a batter, no questions. Play her as a finisher, play her as whatever. But if Richa Ghosh is our number one wicket keeper, then there is a problem, I'm sorry.
Absolutely, Richa. I mean, the problem is I don't know how good a fielder Richa will be. You have to prepare her for that as well because all 11 are going to field. But yes, wicketkeeper, she cannot be the wicketkeeper. Just cannot be. And one of the referees, what was that DRS from Radha and Richa? What exactly was that? For good 30 seconds, I kept asking Snehashi, for what are they appealing? For what are we going for the DRS? He said, I think because Richa did not hold the ball, she dropped it. So I'm sure they're going for LBW. I said, how is that line? Can you go for an LBW? What's wrong with you guys? So Richa is poor when it comes to DRS also. Richa's, she just drops everything. And the problem is, if I have to go a little technical, then she has crocodile catching. As a wicketkeeper, this is not the way you catch. As a wicketkeeper, as a fielder, this is not the way you can catch. You have to her fitness, I do think her fitness is a problem as a wicket keeper, especially. So yes, I completely agree with you. There has to be a proper wicket keeper like Yastika, which I think will eventually happen with Harman, Harleen being out of the way. I think it will be Smriti Pratika and then Yastika Shafali coming in as she performs. But overall, as of now, I you just can't say Richa. I think today every single person was poor. And why not? In the last 40 days, we have not seen a single innovative drill from Indian team. No. It has been, again, with Australia, I have seen them, I think we saw them practice twice, right? In the Vizag game here. They did not practice the same drills. None of the teams practice the same drills over and over again. We have the same drills that I'm sure me and Gargi have practiced in the mid 90s. Those periscopic catches, those high catches, that's about it. And then our fielders don't know how to cut the angles. They don't know where the ball will spin on the field. There's only one Jemmy and one Radha, one Arundhati we are banking on. Smriti, they're hitting to Smriti and taking runs. They're hitting straight to Smriti Mandana and taking singles. Can Smriti Mandana do that? Can Smriti Mandana hit straight to any Australian fielder? Even, for example, their worst fielder, I think Alana is one of the worst fielders in the Australian setup. Will India in the second innings be able to hit straight to Alana and take a single? No. Here they're hitting it straight in the hands of Shafali, Smriti, and taking singles. Those ones and twos also count a lot. And there is no plans. What were we trying to do? Were we trying to protect singles? Were we trying to protect boundaries? Were we trying to attack? What were we trying to do? It's a confusion. I don't know what to say exactly. And fielding will never improve till Munish Bali gets in new, innovative, proper drills.
Gargi, the point that about Richa has been now keeping wickets for 5 years. I'm not talking about her fitness because Trisha just mentioned it. Is it overweight? Is that an issue? Is it what? Fielding is not rocket science. Fielding can be improved with effort. It is not skill. It's not like a batting skill or a bowling skill that oftentimes you will not be able to inculcate. My question here is, actually, has Richa been pushed? Has she been made to understand that, look, you can be out of this team if you don't keep wickets well? Or is it there a sense of complacency? I am the only hitter in this cricket team. I will hit some big sixes. Once in a while, I will score a 90. So my place is kind of secure. Is there a sense of complacency in Richa Ghosh that kinds of impacts her wicket keeping? I am sorry to suggest that in Richa Ghosh, I don't see that effort. I don't see in the last 5 years her wicket keeping. There is something going on where she wants to be a better wicket keeper. And I can give you many examples. Because of the fact that her ability with the bat is reasonably good, is there a kind of cushion that she has, this halo around her head that I am the only finisher? Gargi Rao.
See, the answer to your question is another question from me. Is the fact that when it comes to wicket keepers, you remember certain, take any great legendary wicketkeeper in the cricket setup, don't even have to be legendary, take any wicketkeeper, you will remember either one or two brilliant stumpings, or rather any moment as such that will show their brilliance, that will display their skill. Do you remember anything from Richa Ghosh? No, you don't. You do not remember. You don't even remember her being brilliant in an innings. That's the issue. She is very average as a wicket keeper. It hurts to say that because we want Richa Ghosh to do well. Because again, there is that point of her being the only, sort of very aggressive, very she can change the gears really well, and that we don't have that kind of a battle lower down the order. That that works in our favor wonderfully well. Any player would take that as a positive sign to work on their skill as a wicket keeper as well, and sort of go out there and you are on mute. You are on mute. No, you're on mute.
No, each.
Okay,
Now it's fine. Now it's
yeah,
fine.
I wasn't mute. Anyway, I'll give you the Rishabh Pant example. I remember speaking to Ravi Shastri in Australia in 2020-21, and Ravi told me Rishabh had come back to the test team. Ravi told me he told Rishabh in Australia and made him work the hardest on his wicket keeping and his fitness. He said, if you want to be a test quality keeper batter who wants to be the best in the world, he basically kicked Rishabh Pant up his backside and made him work. And Rishabh Pant turned out to be the Rishabh Pant of today. The thing has to come from Ravi Shastri. It did come from Ravi Shastri, the head coach. In this case, the effort also has to come from Amol Mazumdar. Pull Richa Ghosh up and say, hello, by that couple of innings, you will not get your position in this side. You need to be a premier keeper, because when you are doing ROI, when I'm doing ROI, Trisha Ghoshal, what is the ROI for the World Cup coverage? That's my job. What is the ROI? 2 catches dropped every innings, 3 catches dropped every innings, 20 runs conceded. How many innings has Richa Ghosh contributed? The ROI comes to negative. So I will not go with that. Has Amol Mazumdar done that job with Richa Ghosh? Has she been put on probation? This whole thing about, oh, she's a big hitter. I've heard this for the longest time. I am sorry, this nonsense doesn't work with me anymore. This Indian side, after tonight, God willing, we will see a miracle. But what we have seen on the field, honestly, this Indian side needs a revamp from top to bottom, from captaincy to coaching to ideas to vision. This Indian side needs a revamp. It's time to hand it over to Smriti Mandana and let her lead the side. And
So there's an issue with Boria's internet here,
Yeah,
quite clearly.
I think he got a call or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
look
I
at.
completely agree with. Yeah,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Let's take some chats. Yeah.
Okay, Australia, the Ronka is saying captain and coach both should go. Last 10 years, bowling just hasn't changed a bit. No plan, just throwing ball from one end to other without thinking.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what Boryada was saying. Boryada, you're here. Continue, continue.
no,
Finish
no,
it.
you carry on, carry on. I mean, we've anyway got to finish in the next 5 because the game will
Yeah.
start.
Yeah. I think I absolutely agree with both Australia. I cannot read the name. Australia, the Renuka. Huh? Okay.
Ronka.
Ronka, okay. And I agree with Boriada as well that this team completely needs a revamp. And anyway, if it's Smriti who's handling everything, then just give it to Smriti, because clearly the coach and captain is doing nothing. There are two people who I see extremely active, and I think we have mentioned this n number of times in the video. One is Smriti Mandana, and the other one, while I know the bowling has been extremely poor, but that's Avishkar Salvi. I have not seen Amol Majumdar speak to anybody. This whole thing about getting men's coaches, maybe they don't understand the women's game, maybe they don't care about the women's game. I do not care what they care about if they don't. Just get in people who have performed as women's coaches as well. There is a Sunita Karanjape, there is a Nushin Al Kadir who has 2 World Cups. Just get them to set this team up with Smriti Mandana, and maybe get Jemima Rodriguez as the vice
You know,
captain and groom.
Trisha, Nushin, etc. All. I mean, we've seen them all. You want to get international blood, get it. Do something, boss. This
Yeah,
is enough. I mean, Amol Mazumdar, he's got 3-4 years. What is my end result? You tell me. When tomorrow you
nothing.
don't have Amol, you give me the positives. You give me the positives that okay, this is what it is. Harmanpreet Kaur, the longest tenure with every possible. When 2013, Mitali and company were there, the home World Cup, not even one journalist covered. I can understand
Correct.
that India couldn't do it. No support, no fanfare, nobody knew. The girls played, they lost, their chapter was over. 2017 ke baad, once that World Cup was done, Indian cricket, look at what it is today. So the Harmanpreet era has been an era when there is glare, when there is media, when there is people, when there is fandom, when there is support, when there is BCCI, when there is
Everything but
WPL
result.
sponsor. Bloody everything is there.
Everything but result.
No,
Yeah.
exactly, no result. And you say anything, there is the, again, I'm sorry, this is where it gets a little problematic for me. There is a cheerleading brigade in the women's cricket fandom, and Trisha knows who
Who
I'm
do
talking
not
about.
speak to us and who do
Exactly,
not
just
speak to
like
us in the media box. We don't care. We don't care.
we
But yeah, just
we
saying. Yeah.
leading brigade in the women's cricket fandom. These cheerleaders masquerade as journalists. They are stooges of some of these cricketers who know
Yeah.
little of journalism. They have come and they will portray themselves as holier than thou on Twitter and make comments as if these people are the greatest on mankind. Come on, boss. If you are seeing a game, call it out. Yes, be gracious, be polite, be dignified, but do justice to your job. Do justice to your job and call them out. Unfortunately, women's cricket journalism has turned into, this reflected glory kind of nonsense that I used to see. And both Trisha and I know who we are talking about. I don't want to name
Of course.
anyone here. You
Let's
say
not
this
name.
on
Yeah.
social media. You know this on social media, and they will jump on you saying, Are, how dare you talk about Harmanpreet Kaur? Let's close the show. The match is starting. Let's
Yeah.
expect a miracle. Even if the miracle happens, there is change that needs to happen. Let's close it here.
Yeah.
Trisha Gandhi and I will join you post show. Let's have something from Shmiti, Harman, whoever it is. At least the fans deserve something to talk about at the end of the game. Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.